He's one of my all-time favourite Hollywood international movie stars, and at this ripe old age has decided to take a rather different career path. But what is it and why? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. As I say often on this show, it's lovely in your career when you get to meet some wonderful people that you've admired for many years. And then of course you just get to meet them, sometimes by chance or sometimes through work, where you end up interviewing them. Can you imagine how magical that is, particularly if you've, as I say, admired them for so many years and watched them on all those big movies. Who we're talking about here? Well, the wonderful, of course, Michael Caine. Now, I've got to let you into a bit of a secret actually, because I've interviewed Michael on a number of occasions at the studio. But one of the more recent events truly made me and him laugh, and this is the true story. Michael came to the studio to do what they call a film junket, right? And he was there basically being linked back to some stations in America. Anyway, this was for Warner Brothers. Now, Warner Brothers had spent a fortune sending a lot of food, and when I say food, I mean a lot of food. Now remember, Michael's in his 80s now, and as he openly admitted, doesn't eat that much. Now this food covered the table. It had fruit, pie, sandwiches, everything you could imagine. He didn't want anything. What he wanted was a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits. Anyway, we did the film junket, and of course then he decided to leave. No car. So I rang Warner Brothers in London, and they basically said, oh no, there isn't a car, we haven't organised one. I discreetly, because he was in the room, said, well, this is Michael Caine, can we get one organised? Oh well, this young boy said, I'm not sure, I'll have a look, blah blah blah. So I very tactfully explained to Michael, well, they've forgotten to do the car, and he said, oh, it's okay, never mind. He said, I've got one of these, and he produced a bus pass, right? And I said, oh, right, yeah. And he said, is the bus still round here? Now remember, the studio's in South London, the birthplace of Michael Caine. And so basically, we ended up walking round to the bus stop together, and I got the bus to stop, and then we got Michael on the bus. And as I sort of sat him down, I said to the driver, I'm just going to hop off now. He said, oh, it's all right. He said, is that your granddad? Isn't age a strange thing and youth wonderful? The driver had no idea that he had this megastar sat on the bus. And Michael, great sport that he was, said, well, I don't really mind going on the bus, it's fabulous. He said, and also I live quite near to where my bus stop is. This is what I love about this particular job. Hope you don't mind me sharing that story, but let me tell you exactly what Michael's up to now. He's got a brand new movie. It's out in streaming and in selected cinemas. It's called Bestsellers, an absolute fabulous romp. Now, Michael tells me that after 150 films, he's actually slowing down on the acting front, and why not? So his brand new career is this. He was trapped in lockdown, as so many of us were, all thanks to the pandemic, so he decided to have a go at writing a thriller. Brilliant idea. Now, apparently, according to Michael, he said it wasn't so much the writing or the idea, it was doing all the punctuation and commas, all the fiddly bits that you never really want to do when you're doing a book. So, of course, he decided to plough ahead. Now, this particular story centres on two dustbin men, rubbish collectors, garbage collectors, whatever you call them in your part of the world, and basically they stumble upon some uranium. It's an absolute hoot of a thriller, and guess what? All thanks to Michael putting this to paper, or pen to paper, or computer to screen, as so many people now say, it looks like this could be turned into a movie. So Michael's plan of retiring early from the movies could now be thwarted, because guess what? If it turns into a movie, of course, they would like him to be in it, or at least be the executive producer. Prove it, of course, that you're never too old to retire from the world of showbiz. Well, I'm clinging on to that theory anyway. Don't say, oh, retire, Neil. I can hear you all now. I'm only joking. But seriously, the book is out now, and it's called You Don't Want to Die. Absolute brilliant thriller. And as I say, for Michael Caine, it's lovely when you meet people like that and they live up to your expectations. And of course, they are a superstar, and they remain a superstar. Let me tell you, there are so many that simply do not live up to their fame, or indeed their international status. For now, my lips are sealed. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.